What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. And I'm just going to apologise now for the most ridiculous hat in the hat pack that we've actually got here. I was thinking, because we're obviously working on a tree farm design today, I thought I would look for one that incorporated tree, but having a log on my head just didn't really feel right. So what I'm going to do is swap it out for this other just leather tricorn hat. Now I've swapped out and I've actually gone ahead and I made a full set of sort of OP leather gear. So I wouldn't be surprised if this actually breaks during the filming of today's episode. Can I get into this box in order to put this other weird hat away? So I've also got like the actual hood, the chest piece, the pants and the boots, and I've done them in, what trim is it? The snout armor trim with the sort of emerald, so that way we're incorporating both the wood brown and the leaf green into our armor set. But yeah, nevertheless, that's just something that I've done in between episodes for absolutely no reason whatsoever. What we are going to have a look now at is I've managed to get all of the panda type of heads, which by the way took ridiculously longer than what it should have done. I also got glow squids. I also got every single one of the cats, every single one of the parrots, a couple of the other random ones that I needed. So zombie, shepherd's head, slime, salmon. It's another random panda one you're not meant to be in there. I got the skeleton horse's head because I got actually killed by them when I went for the actual head. I got the blaze head, zombified piglin head just from the mob farm, every single sheep type of head, and made sure that they're all the updated ones so that way we've got the sound effects on them, and then all of the different villager heads. So yeah, that was what I was doing sort of whilst I was trying to think of design ideas. Now there are a number of tutorials for making the dark oak wood tree farms, but me, I like to make things difficult on myself, so I've avoided seeing any of them tutorials. And the sort of concept and design that I've come up with is not the safest. It's definitely not AFKable. It is not fully automated. It is, oh my, it's just, yeah, it's just one of them things that it will definitely help in the process and the speed of harvesting the dark oak wood, but by no means should you be watching this episode in the hopes you're going to learn how to make like a fully AFKable dark oak tree farm. I'm just giving you a pre-warning now before you get too far in the episode and you accidentally stumbled across this video thinking this was going to be a helpful tutorial. But what we are going to do is look for a new area. I did decide that I wanted to build it in my flower biome, but quite frankly I'm fed up of my sounds being bugged out in that area and I can't control the guardians from doing that. So what I was thinking is that we would pick a new area to start building in, and I was trying to think of like the different biomes and whatnot that I've not actually built in yet, and what I've landed on is I want to build in like a badlands or a red sand area. So either over in this northeast area up here or over in this area just over on the west. I think are our only main badlands that are within the 5k block perimeter. Like, we can go a lot further out and you've got massive ones down here, but I don't really want to do that because it will make well trimming 10 times more difficult. So we can't go that far out. I'm fairly sure that is where Stake started doing an ocean monument as well. So yeah, what I'm thinking is past the UK, which is like an upside down UK with island on the wrong side. That's where Cloud's little redstone island is. So I was thinking that if we go a little bit further over into the northeast area, it's where we gather sand over in the very far northeast. But if we go and scout out this area here and then see if that area is going to be suitable or not for us to build in. So what I'll do is make my way over there and I'll bring you back once I get there. Alright, so I've had to fly around and just, oh, it would be helpful if that wasn't my last rocket. And I've sort of spotted this area here, which is the area that I'm sort of leaning towards. Let me try to get some more rockets out. Otherwise it's going to be a bad time. Thank you. Why? Why do you always do that? Thank you. Okay, so, You've got a big cave thing there. Unless we have it over here in like the wooded Badlands. But it would mean like clearing and flattening out a big area. But I think it sort of takes away the aspect of what I was hoping for. Having it on this like big open clearing over here next to the river wouldn't be terrible. Could have all of this as like the backdrop, and that way we're left with a big open stretch of like orange desert. And if you're wondering why I'm looking for this sort of area, it's because I want to build in a style that I've not yet built on this server in. And that is a sort of western theme. So I was thinking building a dark oak tree farm in this area, because obviously when you're building a western theme, you're going to want a lot of different woods, primarily darker shades of woods for the structural supports. So having a dark oak tree farm here would be sort of ideal in its form of being able to produce the resources to build the actual town thing that I actually want to sort of begin the works on now. I don't know if I'm going to get round to doing the outer shell of this farm design yet or not, but to be honest with you, we're just going to see how this one sort of goes. So what I'm going to do is sort of sort out a little bit more of an area, like leveled area, for us to actually work on, and then I can sort of give you a run by sort of step by step on how I'm planning on building this. Because yeah, this is a tree farm that I've never really attempted before, and doing it blind without I've done a little bit of testing regarding timings with TNT Troopers in like a creative world, but other than that, it's definitely not a fully fleshed out and fully functional design. So I'm sort of expecting a death at some point or another. I would be very surprised if I managed to go this entire episode without having died. But yeah, let me get sort of situated. Throw these into here. Have I got a bed? Nope, because that would be way too forward thinking of me. Okay, that would be helpful if I had that in my pocket. Okay, yeah, let me sort of get situated. I'm going to craft a bed before badness sort of spawns. Sorry, I should have really harvested that, but nevertheless, really, why have I not got crafting benches in there? Surely that would be like the main thing that I would have thought of to put in there, but yeah, I guess not. Crafting bench, thank you. And you. 1, 2, 3. But obviously, actually, we're in the Badlands. Let's go with a brown bed. 1, 2, 3. You. Brown. Set. Spawn. Okay. Yeah, let me sort of get situated, and then I will bring you back. Alright, so sort of mapping it out in my head as to the rough sort of dimensions that I want it to be. So obviously it's going to be a 4x4 in the center area. So if the center is, say, it's like here, I think. Yeah, so that's roughly the center. So just below here is where the tree itself should be getting grown, and then in between these pillars here is we want our sort of collection system, like our tray. I also actually, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to grab some shears, just some shears instead of breaking all of these plants, because I know at some point or another I'm going to want to collect them for decoration. Have I? You should be the shears box, shouldn't you? You should be, but you're not. Where are we? Here, shears. Awesome. That way we can collect these dead bushes, because I know for a fact I'm going to want them for decorational pieces somewhere down the line. So yeah, let's grab all of these guys. Thank you very much. So the sort of premise of what I want to do with this is we're going to have a collection tray now, because blocks can't be broken if they're underneath waterlogged other blocks. So it's pretty much the same way as putting basically obsidian above a layer of glass and dropping TNT on it. The glass underneath won't get smashed because the obsidian will be blocking the blast. But we can now waterlog certain blocks that will still allow hoppers to pull items through them even when they are waterlogged. So what we can do is create a sort of protective barrier over our hopper tray with waterlogged, say, what I'm going with is going to be iron trapdoors, just for sort of added security. That, and I think it just looks a little bit more, I don't know really what the word is. I was going to say industrial, but we don't really want to go for the industrial look. If you're wondering why I'm using obsidian, it's because I don't want to keep on swapping out material types while building this. So sticking to a block that I can sort of work into another palette should be sort of preferential. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to have pretty much a tray here. We're going to have, say, a chest. There's some chests. Yeah, thank you. And then want to say hoppers, and then trapdoors. So then what we're going to want is, say, somewhere off on one of the sides, we are going to have just a chest, just standard. Now we can sort out a storage system for auto sorting items somewhere down the line, and then from there what we can then do is have a run of hoppers go. Dude, can I please? Thank you. Come on, ready, guy? So a tray of hoppers underneath here, which means we're going to want to pick up all of this red sand. I'm not going to do this all on camera because obviously this, I know for a fact there's going to be a very sort of I'm in an R in sections where I'm trying to figure out timing circuits. But what I will do is just give you a quick rundown as what my mental picture is of how I want this to work. I know for a fact it's like I said, if you're looking for a tutorial on how to build a dark oak tree farm, look elsewhere. This is not a tutorial. This is me sort of just stumbling my way into what will hopefully be a functional enough system in order to fill my needs and requirements for a dark oak tree farm. So what we're going to want is that over there, and then we're going to want to sleep this night away, please, 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 thank you. Doop, 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 doop. And then what we're going to want is basically we've got our, oh my god, we've got so much crap on this already. Can you guys get out of me? Thank you. That sounded wrong, didn't it? So let's say there's ice. There we go. I always forget to bring water buckets with me. So let's just pick up some blocks of these just so I can give you a sort of demonstration of how I want this water tray to be. We're going to have to dig out a section underneath here anyway in order to get some redstone gadgetry below it. So let's run this around like I saw. Like so. I should have really used obsidian, but I don't want to have to break obsidian afterwards. And then let's just place these like so. So this will now fill them with a water source box, and then we can have our iron trapdoors. So what can happen now is any items that land on this will automatically get sucked up into the hoppers very, very quickly, like instantaneously as soon as it lands on there. And then this will also protect the hopper lines underneath from being blown up by our TNT tubers, which is going to be risking our life. But yeah, and then what we're going to have is the central growing area running off an auto clock, which will be running off of an observer clock in order to dispense. Oh my god, go away, guy. Okay. In order to grow the trees, so that will be down here. Now the issue that I was running into with my testing with dark oak trees, let's say this area here is our growing area, that 2x2. So you can have anything around the outside of these saplings, but then anywhere from this point onwards, the second block just above the saplings where you're placing them, a 4x4 area over the dark oak saplings needs to be clear 8 blocks up into the air, which means we can't have any piston mechanics or any solid blocks of any type. I think the only blocks that we can have are naturally generating blocks such as the wood types of dark oak or leaves. So obviously trying to have a piston pusher, I would have to have like a double or a triple piston extender in order to push the logs far enough away so they wouldn't block the growing of the saplings in order to then place them. It was just, yeah, it wasn't working out the way that I would have wanted. So what I'm going to do is, before I bamble on too much, because we're already like 15 minutes in and I've barely built a single thing. Oh my god. So what I'm going to do is jump straight into a time lapse of me clearing this out, sort of racking my brains on how to get this done properly. And once I've got at least a somewhat functioning dark oak tree farm, I'll bring you back, I guess. Yeah, so I guess I'll catch you back, hopefully not after too many deaths. Alright, so it's gone okay so far. No unexpected explosions of any kind. We've got the redstone underneath all sorted, so what is the plan is that when a tree grows, it will update this leaf block here, because if you are unaware, the status or the state of the leaf changes provided whether it's connected or not connected to a log. So although when you place saplings, if I just had an observer looking directly at that spot, it would activate again whenever I place a sapling, when a tree grows, when a tree gets moved or blown up. But with a leaf block, it will only detect when the log is connected and when it isn't. So we're going to have 2 rounds of TNT per explosion, which is by design. The second one is absolutely needed for after we push up the excess logs that are left. But yeah, so that gets red, sends a signal down here, redstone block then gets pushed out, so it's on a 1-tick pulse coming from the observers. Signal comes here, very delayed signal all the way around to there. That allows this trapdoor to kick open, which then sends a signal up the scaffolding, which will then activate the first round of TNT to drop down and blow up the top section of the tree. And then by the time that round of TNT is done, this signal had travelled all the way through around to here, activating these 4 pistons to push up the rest of the excess logs and then bring the dirt back down just low enough so the dirt doesn't get blown up. And then the second round of TNT is to get rid of the excess logs. Is hopefully, I've only had the very rare occasion where a log will spawn directly above this leaf block, which isn't the end of the world, because all it means is that I then have to come over here and break that log for the second round of TNT to activate. But I thought I'd bring you back in order to do this next section, because if something is going to go wrong, it is usually at this section, and that is trying to put the activator rails with the minecarts on, which is always the sort of nerve-wracking part. So what we want to do is grab, say, hopefully I'm doing this right, it's been a while since I've done it. Is that far enough? It should hopefully be. So when I put you there, and then do that, and then break, and then break you, and then I need to do that for the other 2, but I really don't want to go jumping on that one, because if I nudge that minecart, it will activate that TNT. So I just need to do it for these other ones now. Where are you? Thank you. Then do 1, 2, 3. Piston, detector, minecart, redstone block, break. Okay, so that's 2. Provided I've got all of my timings right and these are actually built correctly. I've built these quite a few times, so I'm hoping they do, but then again, I've built villager breeders quite a few times, and every single time they always just don't work the first time around whenever I build them. I don't know what it is with me, whether if I'm just like cursed with villagers or not, but that is definitely the way it feels sometimes whenever I make them. It's like the worst thing for me to try and actually make. But these things I am relatively confident in making, considering the amount of them I've had to make for different farms. There's a number of different variations of them as well. Like, there are ones that don't use the dead coral fans, and there's also ones that use powdered snow in order to align it correctly. But the powdered snow, I've realised it sort of slows the TNT down a lot more than what I'd like. So that is now that all done. What we are going to want to do is fill... Actually, I'm going to have to put a lever... is it here? Yeah, so a lever just here. So that will then activate this. And this is where we put the bone mill in order to fill that. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to let that run for a second in order to fill that dispenser with bone meal, and then we can sort of test it out, working to see whether or not it is going to kill us. So let's just put anything away in there that can go, and nothing else goes in there. Levers go into there, and then we can put away the rest of this stuff randomly in these boxes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want that boat. Give me it back. Okay, yeah, let me fill that thing with bone meal. Don't worry, I've got more than 5 bones. I've got this entire shulker full of bone blocks. Got a bone to pick with you. That should be more than enough for now. So yeah, let me fill that and let it run for a second, and I'll bring you back once we're ready to test it out. Alright, so I've had the bone meal sort of running for a second. I've delayed the circuitry of it, so it's only spitting out bone meal every now and again. Because the dark oak trees don't require that much bone meal in order to force them to grow. Having it constantly run, so if I place a sapling there first, it's probably going to burn through 9 or 10 bone meal really quickly for no reason before I even planted the rest of the saplings. So I've just slowed it down to a 2-tick delay on a repeater. So rather than it going as quick as an observer can run, it's just going on, I think it's like every 3 game ticks or every 4 game ticks. So, moment of truth. I have got our trusty shield, just in case things go awry. Hopefully it will save us, and it's decorated in the form of an axe to symbolise cutting trees. Oh my god, this is always the nerve-wracking part, that like the redstone's not done correctly or something's not done correctly. But let's see. Either that or, okay, I was about to say, either that or the tree's just failing to grow. Okay, first TNT is going off fine. Second one's gone off fine. Third one gone off fine. That should now be pushed up. Nice. Which means the next round of TNT should happen. And 1. And 2. And then the third one should take out the rest of the logs. Awesome. Then we go round and pick up the ones that aren't being collected by the hoppers. So that's another 30 logs, which is pretty decent return, to be honest with you. This is such a scuffy way of farming dark oak trees, but because it's a farm that it's something that I'll actually enjoy doing, and something that I can actively be playing rather than yet another farm. I come over and just put my guy on auto placing, like right clicking, which gets really, really boring in a turn of playing. So I'm not going to be here for hours on end getting like shulkers upon shulkers of dark oak wood. I'm going to come over here, get maybe a shulker or 2 at a time, like as much as I need, and then not get any more. And then whoever wants to risk coming over here and using this farm, they're more than able to do so. But yeah, I don't know how safe it is for other people to use. As far as my creations go, this is probably not like one of the safest ones that could be. Okay, I thought the log had grown on top of that leaf block. That's another thing I need to be wary of, just to make sure that, you know, I can't be asked to grab that one. Quick, get to the safety zone. I just need to be wary that rather than me prejudging that the log has grown on the other side, because I can't see the other side from here, I need to just like make sure and give it a good moment or two. Okay, and then next round of TNT. So yeah, this is actually going a lot better than I thought. I was expecting a mass explosion of all of our TNT tubers up top. And we are getting a decent amount of dark oak logs at a reasonable amount of time. It's like, what, we've been doing it for around about 2-3 minutes. We've got a stack and a bit on us, and I need to go check that chest to see what we've actually got inside that chest. I did notice as well, it's like depending on how the tree grows, if it's a very short one that hasn't got a lot of sprout offs, not a lot of wood gets collected on the hoppers. I also don't think that the water tray had to be even remotely this big. So yeah, that's another thing if you're going to sort of try to recreate this type of farm. I don't know why you would want to recreate this type of farm. Like, there is... I know for a fact there's plenty of other designs. Where did I put the output chest? Over here. Okay, so we've got like nearly a stack coming into there, and so over like 2 and a bit stacks, and we are getting more than our feedback of saplings back, which is excellent. That's the main thing that I was concerned about with dark oak trees. So yeah, what I'm going to do is do a probably just around about an hour session doing this, going back and forth. It would help if I actually planted the saplings, and then just see how much wood I get in that hour sort of session, which is probably the weirdest sentence I've said. See, this is one, if that log there had grown on the other side, it would be grown on top of the leaf block, and if it doesn't get destroyed by the TNT, then it would prevent the next round of TNT from going off, which would require me to go round and manually break that block, which isn't too much of a hassle. But at the same time, it's not something I'd like to happen every single time. Thank you. And away. Okay, yeah, I'll catch you back after I've done a little bit of a session on here. Alright, so 1 hour has passed. I'm going to stop that replay footage from recording now. Let's just see how much we've actually got. It feels like it should be a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. You know what? Definitely making a profit on the saplings, which is great. Having sticks is always handy, and an obscene amount of dark oak wood. I need to sort of do the maths into working out roughly how much an hour this is then. Oh, god damn it, I hate Cloud so much. I've got him in my Discord. I'm on call, but I've muted my mic, but I've not deafened, so he can still send them stupid fucking things. I need to clear this inventory of logs, and then we can work out just how many stacks it is. Okay, so that's what, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So that's about 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. It's about 53 if I get up my calculator. So we got 53 times 64 logs. Divide that by 60. Is that how you do that maths? Like 56 stacks per hour? Why am I trying to figure out how many stacks per hour it is? Oh my god, that is so stupid of me. Oh my god. I'm trying to work out how many stacks per hour it is when I can just count how many stacks it is for the hour I've just done, which is probably the most stupidest thing I've ever attempted to do whilst playing Minecraft. Okay, so we've got 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 52 plus 46, so 52 times 64 plus 46. That's 3,374 logs an hour, which in all fairness is absolutely awesome. So we're going to be taking this one back to base. What I may do is, rather than spinning the wheel to see what our next project is, I think we should actually work on a build to go up and over this thing, because we're going to have like a main tower to go over this that is producing the wood for. So what I'll do is, in between episodes, I'll work on design, because building freestyle on camera, something this big, especially when I'm going to have to bring it out a few blocks and line the inner wall with obsidian where the explosion areas are, I think is going to be a bit of a nightmare if I try to do it freestyling. So yeah, but nevertheless, rather than me waffling on, because I know this video is already getting on a little bit, I will probably leave it here and then we can continue next episode. What I'll do is I can actually go back to base, grab a bunch more resources of block pallets that I think might look good over here, and then sort of think of a build style. Obviously we're going for the Wild West sort of look for it, but usually buildings aren't usually this tall in that sort of era and that time. But there are the like old school sort of hotel buildings that you had in the Wild West era, which could probably look good. I'm going to have to look for some images online and get some inspiration regarding it, because yeah, it's not a build style I've built very much. I've tinkered with it on a very small scale before, but never something as large as what needs to actually encase this farm. And I would like to have something encasing this farm, because having to constantly go and sleep in between explosions whenever the sun sets is becoming a bit of a nuisance, to be honest with you. But overall, I think this farm's actually worked really well, considering like I was expecting to get maybe barely a shulker at most for an hour's worth, but getting nearly 2 shulkers worth is overshot my expectations of the farm. So I'm counting this as a success. Obviously, again, this is not a ideal farm. I would not advise anyone to build it. Pre-warning, because yeah, it's one of them things that if something goes wrong with it, I can fix it, because I'll know exactly what's gone wrong with it, because I built it and I designed it. But if anyone else builds it and something goes wrong, it's going to be a nightmare them trying to figure out why it's gone wrong and what's gone wrong. Unless it's something obvious, like screwing up building the TNT dupers and that entire top section gets blown up, which happened to me twice in a test world when I was sort of building the time delay circuit up there. I didn't actually time it right, so that one shot off twice and it blew up all of them. That was fun. Mac actually got to witness that one firsthand, so yeah, fun. Nevertheless, before I carry on, because I can probably talk for days and days at this point, you're probably sick of me, so I will hopefully catch you all in the next episode to start building our western town. We'll probably lay down some pathway sort of designs and sort of get a scope of the scale of the builds and whatnot that we want here. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully it's been, I don't know, a little bit more personal, sort of one-on-one touch, rather than just straight up time lapse and here we go, here's the done product sort of thing. But yeah, hopefully you understood the way that my brain sort of works, which is a name just route to go. And hopefully I will catch you all in the next episode. Bye bye.